I found myself in an emergency room having several tests run because I couldn't sleep one night and thought it was a gallbladder issue. And basically, after everything was said and done, the doctor comes in and tells me that I have stage 4 pancreatic cancer, which is metastasized to the liver. And he said the lesions, he called them, or the tumors, the one in the pancreas was about a grapefruit size, and there were several of them on the liver, which ranged from being a marble size to a golf ball size. So with that, he kind of told me that you know, under the circumstances, I probably would have about 5 months to live. And basically that kind of really shocked me. I mean, I can still remember, you know, to this day, the whole feel of that, to be, you know, to be told that, hey, you're going to die pretty soon. And, you know, you see that on television, you see it in the movies, and I actually had seen it another time in person when it was, you know, me and my father. My dad was diagnosed with cancer, and I was there with him in the moment that he got the news that he had 6 months. And I still remember that. You know, you wonder how you going to take that when it happens, you know, and you basically, I tried to take it like my dad did, you know. I know he was trying to be strong, you know, for me.
Lord, you read my thoughts, and you know that they are all of you. Everything I think and say and do just leads me to such a rainbow. It's hard to believe that love can be pure as gold, but it's so. While I live my life beneath your heavenly rainbow.
I just remember feeling like I had, you know, was going to die, completely just going to die, because I just felt like I could not live without him. I didn't know what I would do without him, and the only thing I could think of is, well, please God, don't take him away. I'm not ready. I mean, I'm not ready. I can't do it. You know, I just can't let him go. I begged and pleaded and prayed. And I just was scared to death, really. What am I going to do?
He was going downhill pretty good. I mean, there was a time where, I mean, I was having to help him to the bathroom, and you know, you're dealing with he was a big, strong man, and to be cut down to where he could take a few steps and have to breathe, you know, and not be able to make it there on his own, and not be in his own mind because of just, I don't know what it was. It just took him down.
Oh, and I wanted more time, and you know, you're sorry for things that maybe you didn't get to do, or maybe you start seeing things so differently.
You know, he knows I love him. He knows I think the world of him, but I don't think he knows how much he's inspired me. This whole thing, this whole journey has just been incredible. And there's no way it would take me, you know, 3 hours to tell you what I'm thankful for just from this alone. But I just wish, you know, I could just say, you know what, thank you. And he would just understand, you know.
And I remember being in the hospital, and you know, him being so weak with some of the strength that he had when he was up and alert, some of the strength that he had, you know, he'd use every bit of it to pick up a pen and start to write. You know what I mean? And some of the stuff that I was reading, you know, when he passed back out, I was like, wow. I was like, you know, this is a great thing. And I didn't know exactly then what it was, but what it was he had already made that decision, and he had already got with God on it, and that was him writing on the first album.
When you're going through a dark place and you just can't find your way, and it seems like the end of your road. Just look up to the heaven, and your faith will bring you light.
Everybody says there's no atheist in a foxhole. Well, I guess it's kind of like my situation. I'm not an atheist and never was, but here I was in that foxhole, and I was reaching out. And basically in a quiet time there, I reached out to God as a child, you know, just saying, Lord, what do I do? You know, I'm just would love to have some more time, you know, because I haven't got all my ducks in a row, so to speak. I just wanted to make sure that I was able to leave my family in a better financial situation. You know, maybe I could hang on long enough to get some insurance to help them. I was also trying to I'd love to have more time with my kids, my boys, you know, to see them get married and have, you know, their children and stuff. And so I just reached out to God and asked him if I could have some more time. And he spoke to me. He didn't speak to me like, you know, like we're speaking right here, but he basically spoke to me, and he told me he was very disappointed in me. He spoke to my heart, and really not what I was wanting to hear. But he told me, he said he was very disappointed in me that he had given me a talent and I had wasted it. And that talent being singing, songwriting, that I'd given up on for my family in the 80s when my first son was born. But I don't think he was worried about that so much as the fact that I had never used any of that talent that he had given me, that I had wasted. I'd never used any of it to glorify him or for him. And so with that being said, you know, I asked him to please forgive me, you know, for all those sins and for all those things that I had done, and if he would give me another chance, I would spend the rest of this time, and if he would give me some more time, that I would spend that time basically writing and singing songs and trying to glorify him. Now, with that, I didn't know how I was going to do it. I knew I was going to do it, but I didn't know how I was going to do it, because I'd never written a religious song in my life. Didn't know the first thing about it. Like I say, I was not a practicing Christian. I never read the Bible, still stumbling through it, but I'd never read the Bible. I wasn't versed on all of that stuff, and so writing a Christian song, I was not the best candidate for that. Didn't, like I say, didn't know how or whatever. I'm one of those guys that when you go to, you know, nobody wanted to go to church with me. Not because they didn't like me, because they were afraid that if they went with me the day that I went, that whole thing is going to come crumbling in. Because I wasn't like a wicked guy or anything. I'm not going to say I was like a Satan or anything, but I was your typical black sheep. We'll put it that way. So with that being said, I'm the guy that has promised God that I would do this, and I would do it, and I did. But I sat down at a piece of paper with a pencil and had no clue. And so at that moment I prayed again. I prayed to God. I said, God, I need help. And only moments later, it seemed like the words just started pouring out onto the paper. It was like unbelievable, man. Things that I didn't think I was capable of, you know. I didn't think, you know, lyrically. You know, I knew I could write some melodies and stuff like that and could craft a song, but I had no idea of the content, how to do that part of it. And it just started pouring out and pouring out and pouring out. The word just seemed to come as easily.
Lord, you pour out love and forgiveness. You pour out fresh new seeds to sow. You pour out a truth for all nations from the blood that did flow, from your life's blood that did flow.
first person to tell everybody, these are, he's given me these words because he's always been a good songwriter, but, to write such beautiful Christian songs was really something.
After I made my plea to God to have more time and not to waste this talent that He had given me, and to use the talent to praise Him, I knew in that moment that I was going to do something more than just me singing to God in a room of something I wrote. I knew that I was going to share it with as many people as I possibly could. That was my goal, and that was my crusade, in other words, and to spread as many seeds as I possibly could with this gift in honoring God. And so I knew that in the moment that I had a creation of a song for Him, that I had to get it from me through a band into tape, into a CD, into live venues, onto radio, to television, to cruise ships, I don't care, anywhere. It had to go everywhere. In other words, any place it could go, it had to go.
There's a boy in the streets and he's lonely. Cold, wishing for a new life, but no one takes him in, tries to help when they can, 'cause there's not enough praise in the streets. I said it's not enough praise in the streets.
I woke up in the middle of the night one night with this lick in my head, and it was like da 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 da, and I just was playing around with it and trying to see where I was going to go with it, and it had a kind of a ragtime feel to it, ragtime rock and roll fusion type, and I just was seeing cabaret kind of, and then after cabaret came, I guess what it turned into a song about red light mamas. The problem was, it was always a song that was one that you'd ever wanted to go, hey Mom, this is my new song. Yeah, because it was kind of a little risque, and all the people, the places we were playing loved the song. So they kept nudging me, hey, don't you turn this one? And so something, I said, something, I ought to give this one back to God. And so that's when I started working with it, and then the thing just came together very, very easily. Now that it's turned into a Christian song, I can be more proud of it because it's praise Jesus now.
Jesus Christ is waiting for your call. Word was spreading it everywhere. The promise of my Savior and the love that's so rare. Sing it to the young and the very old. Gonna save your soul. Why do we always seek Him in the worst of times? Yet in our happiest moments, always tend to decline. Millions of blessings the Lord gives out each day, yet we only include Him when we've lost our way. Down to forever I will praise.
In the moment of that grim prognosis, Schafe began a sacred conversation with his Creator. Within that dialogue, a profound question emerged. What had he done with his God-given gift? The answer became his mission, transforming what should have been months of decline into a decade of devotion through music. His album, Choose Faith, became more than just a collection of songs. It was his testimony, his offering, his response to divine grace. And in perfect divine orchestration, Schafe's final moments echoed his latter life's devotion. As his wife Penny and his boys Sean and Scott gathered around him, Schafe peacefully departed during quiet moments, the very song he had chosen for his celebration of life. From a 5-month prognosis to a decade of ministry to an eternity with his Savior, Schafe's legacy reminds us that when we dedicate our gifts to God, He can transform our timeline from moments to forever.
Just here